Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today we are doing my July reading wrap up. I read 15 books this month. That is the most I have ever read in a month. I think last month I get 13 or 14? I can't remember. Let me have a look. Yeah, last month I got 14. So we beat it again by one. So the page is full. I'm so happy with this. This has made honestly, this has just made me very happy. Yes, I read 15 books in July. That is the most I've ever read in a month, ever. I'm very proud of that. I think part of it, I don't know what happened this month. I didn't even do a 24-hour reading challenge. I did do a reading vlog. And I read like 5 books in about 8 days, which was very quick for me, but they were like shorter books. I don't know. I was really in a mood to read. I also was not very well at the beginning of the month. Like my fatigue was really bad, so all I did was read then, so that kind of added to how much I read, I guess. Anyway, let's just get into the books that I read in July. Okay, the first book I read was Collide by Bal Cabra. This one is a hockey romance. It definitely gives icebreaker type vibes. So I thought this book was very cute. At first I thought it was very like Icebreaker, and I love that book, but I don't like when things are kind of like a carbon copy. And I thought Summer was very dramatic for like no reason, to be honest. But the more I got into it, the more it pulled away from being like Icebreaker, and it became its like own thing. And yeah, the characters just got even better. The banter was one of my favorite things. They were so funny either between the two main characters or between the other like side characters that were involved, and the spice was really good. Yeah, obviously this is the first book I read this month. I can't remember like anything. I never remember anything about the books I like. I don't know why. The books I hate, I remember, but the books I love or like, I just can't remember. This one I rated 4.5 stars. It's got a 3.5 chili pepper rating because there's quite a lot of spice. Not quite as much as Icebreaker, but there is quite a lot of spice. It was good. Quality spice. We love Aiden, honestly. But also the banter was just really good. Which I've already said. I don't know why I'm repeating myself, but there was just a lot of really funny moments, a lot of like really cute moments and really sweet moments as well as the spice. So I feel like it was a very well-rounded romance book, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, a 4.5 stars for Collide. Okay, next on Kindle I read Six Scorched Roses, which is the novella between The Serpent and the Wings of Night and The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. I don't really rate novellas because it was really short. It's like 184 pages. I loved this though. I really loved this novella. I cannot wait to see these characters again. I don't know if they're going to be in The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King or if they're going to be in the one following. That's like a different story. As far as I'm aware, The Serpent and the Wings of Night and The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King is like a duology within a larger series with this novella in between. And then there's going to be like another part of the series within the bigger series that's not related to these two necessarily. Like, it's not following the same characters. So I don't know if these characters are going to be in The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, because it seems like it was setting up for that to be the case. And I would love to see them again. I really would. Also, it was quite spicy. I gave it a 2 chili peppers because it's a short novella, so there wasn't that much spice necessarily. But what was there was good. Yeah, so I don't know if they're going to be the characters in the next part of the series or if they're going to be in the next book. Either way, I'm very excited to continue. I have bought The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. I did not realise how thick it was. It's a big old boy, so hopefully we'll be getting around to that this month. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. So Vale is the MMC of the novella. I like him more than Rain. I'm not gonna lie. Just from the get-go, if we ignore the last half, well, if we ignore sort of the ending even of The Serpent and the Wings of Night, I still like him more than I ever liked Rain. I just love Vale. I don't know, there was something about him. Yeah, I can't wait to continue. Anyway, it was a novella. I enjoyed it. It was nice, short, sweet, snappy. Yeah. Then I read Live and Laugh by Brynne Weaver. this is a controversial one because everyone seems to not like this book, and I don't know why, because I loved it more than the first one. So I rated this one a 4.5 rating as well. There's a lot of 4.5s in this roundup, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I love this. I love Marriage of Convenience. I just do. And I love that they started off as, I don't know how to explain how they started off. They weren't foes, they definitely weren't friends, they weren't enemies, they just started off on the wrong foot, really. And then Lachlan really made an effort once the Marriage of Convenience side of things came in to make her feel more at ease, to try and make her like warm up to him, really. So he put a lot of effort in. Yeah, possibly because I did go into this with low expectations. Maybe that's why I did enjoy it more than I thought I would. And I don't know, because obviously Butcher and Blackbird, I do have the physical copy, but I listened to it mostly on ebook when I read this. And I find it hard to decide how much I like a story when I listen to it on ebook. Even though I thoroughly enjoyed it, I don't know if that was mostly because Rowan had a beautiful Irish accent in the audiobook. So, I mean, I love both. They're great books. But yeah, I rated Leather and Lark a 4.5 stars, and I'd give it a 3 chili pepper rating, because it took a while to get the spice, and then the spice was like, well, the spicy. There was a certain moment on stage that was intriguing. Anyway, then I read Ruthless Vows. There's not even much I can say about this book because I loved it that much. It was a 5 stars, obviously. There's no spice. It is a YA. It's like mentioned. Like, it's mentioned, but I don't count it as spice. Every time I do these videos and I sit on the floor, my legs start killing me. How do kids sit on the floor cross-legged all day at school? I don't understand. It hurts. Like, my legs are going numb. Let's talk about this, then I'm going to stand up for a minute. Okay. Yeah, basically just fiction's cutest couple. They are so wholesome. I love them more than anything. Yeah, Roman and Iris, I think they possibly are the sweetest couple in any book I have ever read, ever in my entire life. I just love them. How much they love each other could bring me to tears. In fact, it pretty much did bring me to tears. I just love this book. And Divine Rivals, they're both 5 stars. This book was just so emotional. It was so gripping. I literally could not put this book down. I read it in a day. I literally read it in a day. Yeah. Again, like I say, I can't say much about it. Whenever I love a book, I can't say anything. The writing was amazing. I love the plot. Love the couple. There's nothing I didn't love about Ruthless Vows. Okay, next I read Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. This one I also read in a day, practically in a sitting. I loved this book. There is a reading vlog of Ruthless Vows, Good Girl, Bad Blood, and another book, which is my finishing series I'm in the middle of, reading vlog, if you want to see more comprehensive thoughts on these books. Yeah, this one was also 5 stars. The ending of this shook me. I just feel so bad for Pip. I don't know how that girl is not like irrevocably traumatized. I was just so emotional at the ending even. Like, I literally wanted to cry for her. This book made me feel so many things, and I just thought it was written really well. I did not really guess anything that was going to happen, but I also don't really read mysteries and thrillers very often, so I'm not used to the tropes and the things that happen really often, I guess. So yeah, I cannot wait for the 3rd and final book, which is As Good as Dead, I believe, which I don't have yet, but I will be getting at some point. Obviously, this is a YA, like, mystery thriller. There's no spice, obviously. But yeah, I just thoroughly enjoyed this book. And in the same video, I read The Darkest Temptation, yeah, by Danielle Laurie, which is the 3rd book in the Maid series. I did not realise there was going to be a 4th book in that series. I don't know if I'm going to be continuing the series. I liked the second one. This one I rated a 3 stars and a 3 chili pepper rating. I think it was my least favourite of the series, to be honest. we had a little bit of a cameo from Christian and Gianni. Is it Gianni? Gianna. From the second book, because this is following Christian's brother. I can't remember his name. Begins with an R as well. There's too many Rowans and Romans that I've read this month apparently. It began with an R. Her name was Mila. Anyway, I quite liked her. She was... The only thing is she was very naive and a bit stupid. Like, how do you not know what your dad is? And how do you not know that this man in front of you is very clearly very dangerous? Just instinctually. Does your mind not scream that something is dodgy? And then you're throwing yourself at him. And it's like... And like, I've never seen a woman throw herself at a man so often and get rejected so many times. It's embarrassing, and yet she would still continue to do it. So I just really didn't like it. I just thought she was really naive, kind of stupid, a little bit annoying. But I still liked him more than I liked him, because he was just not a great MMC, to be completely honest with you. So, I mean, I did rate it 3 stars just because it was enjoyable in that it was very entertaining. But I don't know if I recommend the book. I don't really know if I recommend the series. The second one was good. The first one was okay. The next book I read, I absolutely loved. I read Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This one I rated a 4.5 as well. I have so many books that are 4.5 rating this month. Like, we've had 2 5 stars, okay? I'm happy with that. There's too many almost 5 stars. But yes, this book was so wholesome, despite the like spice, which was very good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this opens up. It doesn't quite open up to spice, but there's obviously spice in the very beginning because this is an accidental pregnancy book. I quite like that trope if it's done well, so I'm not bothered about that. Like, but it's a known thing. Everyone knows this book. It's accidental pregnancy, so if you don't like that kind of thing, you're probably not gonna like this. But Bo in this, he is just such a stand-up guy. He is like so happy to be becoming a dad that it's just adorable, and he is so supportive and caring and kind and giving. He is a beautiful man, and their relationship is really cute because they sort of give each other what they need almost instinctually. Like, I don't know how else to describe it aside from that. And they become friends first. Like, she's not wanting to ruin anything with regard. She wants this baby to be raised in the most loving and stable way. So she doesn't want to ruin anything potentially by if they had a romantic like relationship as well, and if that went apart, like the baby not having that lifestyle that she wanted to have. So they just basically become friends first, and it's really cute. They just like they build a very solid foundation, I think. And I love this. I love this so much. But for some reason it wasn't quite a 5 stars. I don't know what it was. I just didn't get the feeling. Oh yeah, there's also a disability rep. You can see on the cover he's got a prosthetic leg and her hand isn't fully formed. So the disability rep in this is really good. How they this starts off at a Halloween party, and let's just say how they tell each other about their disabilities is very funny. But yeah, I like how there's disability rep in this without making it the entire character's personality, because in real life, disabled people are not just their disability. They have so much. Every person has so much to them, to their personalities, to who they are. So I like that it was a part of the character without making it the entire plot, or like nothing that was like a problem in this book or something to overcome was to do with their disabilities, which I really loved, because that's how it should be. It's part of you, but it's not something that your whole storyline should be centered around, you know? So yeah, I love how that was done as well. Next, I read Powerless, which was also a 4.5. I really was not sure how much I was gonna like this book. Everyone online loves this book. I have not seen anyone not like this book, to be honest, of any of the book content creators that I follow. No one has disliked this book. But with it being a YA fantasy, and it being someone's first book, and people saying the only criticism is that every single fantasy trope ever is put in this book, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it, but I really loved it. For the tiny crumbs we get of their relationship, and I mean crumbs, there's barely anything. This is the slowest slow burn I have ever read in my life. I ate that shit up. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do like a slow burn, like as much as the next person. I wouldn't say it's my favourite thing ever, because I do love me some spice. I love me some smell. But this was just, the slow burn in this is done so well. But I'm not gonna lie, the ending made me mad. And I don't like Kai, as of right now. As of where I am right now, I'm not a massive fan of Kai. For reasons I will not go into because they're spoilers. I really hope he can redeem himself in Reckless. I have a feeling, because it's a trilogy, isn't it? I don't think the romance is going to be resolved at all in Reckless. I think maybe we're going to get the building blocks of things starting to resolve, but I don't think anything's going to happen until Fearless. So yeah, again, I don't have much to say. I just really enjoyed it. It was purely feeling. I wouldn't say like the writing wasn't like amazing. It was decent. I'm not like, the world building was also decent. The one thing I don't like about the world is the fact that the people that gets called Ilya, every time I read that they're called Illians or whatever, however you want to pronounce it, every time I'm like, okay, well, this just sounds like Illyrian from A Court of Thorns and Roses. And it was a bit too close for my tastes for it to not seem a little bit like rip-off, but that's just my personal opinion. Okay, next I read the Off Campus series. And I loved this series so much. I'm going to do a quick fire. There is a reading vlog if you want to see my thoughts and feelings more in depth. I don't want this video to be stupidly long, to be honest, like my last one was. So if you do want to see, it'll be linked in the end cards of the video. Or you can just click on my channel and it's that right there. Yeah, so the deal, we rated 4.5 stars and a 3 chili pepper rating. I think, to be honest, all of these are a 3 chili pepper rating. All of these are probably a 3 chili pepper, aside from the Legacy I've only put as a 2 because it's a shorter book and it's just an epilogue basically. So I would say they're all a 3 chili pepper. Yeah, so the deal was a 4.5. The mistake was a 4. The score was 4.25. The goal was a 4, and the Legacy I put as a 3.75 because it's just an epilogue basically. I thoroughly loved this series. I think my favourite couple is definitely Hannah and Garrett, and then I think it's gonna be Dean and Ali, followed very closely by Tucker and Sabrina, and then Logan and Grace. This series was so fun. It was so good. I loved like this, again, like with Icebreaker, the whole like found family of the team. I know these came first over Icebreaker, but Icebreaker I read first. The whole like found family between the team and other side characters, like the friends or the family, yeah. I won't go too much into it. There is a reading vlog if you want to watch that. Next I read Twisted by Emily McIntyre. This one I rated a 3 stars, and I think I gave a 2.5 chili pepper rating because the spice did not happen until very close to the end. This book, first of all, for it being, it's 420 pages, this looks very thick. I don't know why, it's just so thick, but it's very floppy. Anyway, this book, I rated 3 stars because I enjoyed it for what it was. However, I do not think this book is necessarily good. I didn't love this book. I did not believe in the relationship, even slightly. I thought, yes, there was like a attraction between the two characters, but they went from like, he thought she was incredibly annoying and young and naive and just a waste of space and wanted to kill her basically, and her being like, okay, yeah, he's hot, but he's a massive arsehole, which he is, to, oh, suddenly we're both in love with each other. In the space of a couple of weeks, after a forced marriage. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at this instance. And she was meant to be in love with someone else before this. Like, if your love is so fickle that a couple of weeks apart from the person you think is the love of your life, like you fall in love with someone else, I don't believe in your love with this guy either, because it was like forced proximity, very forced. Yeah, it wasn't realistic. Obviously, it's a dark romance, but it just wasn't believable. Like, at least other dark romances, like with like Stolen Heir, which is right here, like that one was also, he kidnapped her, which basically he did, and because of how he acted towards it, and like it was a much slower burn and it was taking place over a much longer period of time, yeah, it felt more believable that she fell in love with him. This just didn't make, it made no sense. So it was 3 stars because I enjoyed it. It was kind of like entertaining to read, but I just don't think it's all that good. It's definitely not my favourite. I mean, this whole series has been okay. My favourite was definitely Wretched. Wretched, I genuinely thought was good. The rest I'm just like, you can take or leave them, to be honest. They're entertaining, but I wouldn't say they're like good books, to be honest. Okay, the final book I read was Powerful by Lauren Roberts. I, again, didn't read this because this is a novella, and I just don't read novellas because they're too short for me to really get any feeling across. If I was going to rate this, it would probably be a 4 to a 4.5. I don't know. But, and again, no surprise because it's a YA. This one I knew was going to tear my heart out. I was expecting it because of how powerless ends. And it does it like it's a very cruel book. This is a very cruel novella, to be completely honest with you. The existence of this novella is purely to tear your heart out and to make you see more of a side character. And I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't read Powerless. Most of you probably have. You probably get what I'm getting at. I did see that this is a tandem read for Powerless and Powerful. And I was originally going to do it, and then I was trying to finish Powerful before like a certain time so I could start the off-campus reading vlog. So I didn't really have time. I kind of wish I did. I think if you do the tandem read for your first read of these 2 books, it's on, like, I've seen it on TikTok, it tells you which chapters to change. I think it would make what happens at the end of Powerless so much more impactful and so much more heartbreaking. In the best way though, like in the best way. I think I'm very much looking forward to Reckless though. I do want to read that this month. I probably want to do another reading, finishing series I'm in the middle of video, and it's probably going to be a specific fantasy one because I've got 3 fantasy books that's like continuing on series that we're currently in the middle of. So I'm probably going to do that this month. I don't know where my voice is going. It's just gone. But yeah, we'll see if that happens. Anyway, let's get on to the stats of this month. So total pages read is 5,465. So again, most we've had so far. I had 3 3-star ratings, 8 4 stars and 2 5 stars, and then 2 novellas, which I don't rate. I read 7 romance, 3 dark/mafia romance, 4 fantasies and 1 YA mystery/thriller. 11 books I read were paperback, 2 hardback and 2 Kindle. So yeah, we've made a good dent. I think the only thing is though, out of the books I have read this month, technically these are new, but I do own obviously the other editions, so I don't add them as adding to my TBR because I'm not going to read both twice, if that makes sense. So I only read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh well, I suppose I read 7 books from my like original TBR, but the rest of the books either were newly owned or like on Kindle, which I don't own. So I feel like I do need to make more of an effort, but a lot of the books I want to read next month, and that's on my TBR, are new books. I think only 2 of the books I owned last year, actually, when I look at what my TBR jar picked, which obviously is the video that went up before this if you want to see what my TBR is for next month. And then again, for the books that I want to read for this other video are all new books that I bought literally just this month. Maybe other months. Maybe August is not the month to get through my like original TBR that I've started the year with. But yeah, there's a lot more to read. Okay, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't already. Leave a comment telling me A, if you did a tandem read of Powerless and Powerful, and B, what, if any, 5-star reads you had this month. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Bye!